You're going to learn something today because I love you. Check this out, friends. This is a chart. You see on the top right how it's going from the up left actually to the bottom right. It is going down only. You see that? Down, 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 down. Okay, this chart is long volatility. Okay, so in the stock market world, sometimes people get a bit of terror in their hearts. And what people do is they think they're smart. So they try to buy the VIX on leverage. So you think that looks easy, right? Because if I show you the VIX chart, you think, wow, this is the easiest thing ever. So you just go to TradingView, you type in the VIX, right? You're like, oh, wow, this thing never goes anywhere. Look at this. I mean, like up and down, up and down. You think that it's so easy, right? Wrong. The VIX runs off a 30-day expiry. So you can only buy insurance for a month. And at the beginning of the month, the VIX opens high. Why? Because on the first of the month, there are like 30 days in the month where something bad could happen. So nobody wants to sell you insurance for a whole month for a very cheap price. So now you're starting to uncover these things. And on top of that, if you have a portfolio of money, you lose about, I think, 1 or 2% per month if you are doing this strategy. So it might be about 1%. So by the end of the year, you'll lose 12%. But you got to understand how dangerous that is, because if the stock market is up 10%, your opportunity cost is huge. And let's say you were buying insurance January, February, March, April, May, every single month for a whole year. And if nothing bad happens in the year, you've got opportunity cost. But it might be the cost of your insurance, like insuring a car. But see, this chart is an actual ETF here. ProShares Ultra VIX short-term futures ETF. Down, 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 down. Look at the time. It's since 2012. So as you get to see, friends, it's kind of funny. Look at the cumulative flow, just people like DCA buying over time. So I think it's very important for you to think about that. Now, obviously, there are going to be these giant VIX bursts where it does make sense to basically be in there. The thing, though, is you don't want to be too cute with it. If you want risk off, I believe, just follow Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett keeps 15% of his whole portfolio in cash. Around 15%. It toggles between 5.5% when there's like a big recession crash and he's buying heaps. It toggles from 5% all the way up to like 15 to 17 when he thinks things are expensive. So that's pretty much, it's the best thing to do. Not to go gamble on some hedge or something out here. The only time you should be gambling on a hedge is if you're a VC, you've got millions of dollars of a token that's unlocking in a year, and let's say Ethereum is $13,000 right now, and you want to lock in your money because you know, oh crap, if Ethereum goes down 75%, your coin is finished. It's down 95%. So you'll buy a put insurance for a whole year of Ethereum. So if Ethereum goes down, you make money on your insurance and you're able to exit your coin. That makes sense, okay? But for the rest of us, it's not worth it, okay? So remember, long volatility, yeah, the best long volatility trade is actually be long Bitcoin, because if there's volatility in the economy, how do they patch things up? They put on the money printer. I even have this cute picture here for you. Crypto seas can be wild and rough, but it's worth it. Keep on going. We are going to make it to the promised land. I know it's not easy, friends, okay, but when you're sailing these rough seas in cryptocurrency land and you're seeing pretty much thousands of FUD events, the business cycle and all these things coming together, you just got to remember, man, I know no one told us what we're signing up for, but also there are going to be people missing out when they wish someone taught them. They wish. Well, you have the highest value content in crypto, so, not my fault. But everyone's going to have to learn their own way. Okay, we really do have a trial by fire going on, don't we? But still, I hold out for hope. This is what makes you, your character, your person. That's why, the longer the base, the higher the pump into space. And I think we all can relate to this, right? When the stock market guys see like a minus 1%, they're like, it's all over. It's all over. Crypto volatility takes us to a whole new level because it's dealing with network effects, right? Yes. Stock market based off cash flow, earnings, PE, computing forward. But cryptocurrency land is based off network effects, right? And so you have Metcalfe's law going. So if you add 5 people, you add a multiplier of 5 people to the network, so you times it by 5 in terms of size, you get 25x value increase. Okay, but what if you drop it? What if you drop that? Well, you get destroyed. Okay, it's going exponential up, it's going exponential down. That's what makes it more volatile. We understand that. That's why we're here to win. And speaking of win, I think it's time now just to think about the story of Jams win. Jams win! Don't forget stories like this, friends, because a lot of people, they think, remember with Jams win, leverage trading, liquidations and stuff. I want you to just think about how everybody thinks just because you have a lot of dollars that it now entitles you where it's easy to make money. That's completely false. When you have a lot of money, friends, everybody's trying to hunt you because you're a big whale, man. Not only is just everybody trying to scam you, trying to hunt you in the market as well. Yeah. So doesn't mean it's easy. That's why it's important. Stick to your circle of competence. Also, if you're going to venture into new things, use 1% risk, right? If you have a $100,000 portfolio, don't go throw in 30, 40 grand on some new venture or some ICO. Use 1%. Most of the time, the thing's going to change your life. Okay. If you really see high probability fundamentals forming, you can start to add the position. However, err on that caution. Okay. Just lean more on the side of you don't know what you're doing. Because as you've seen cryptocurrency land, 9 times out of 10, that thing isn't actually life-changing gains. It's actually going to change your life for the worse on average. I think it's now time to remember this, friends. I love posting this picture, okay? The Dogecoin founder, man, he sold all his Doge down here. This is what the chart looked like, bro. Just look at this, okay? Remember this point in history, okay? Like, the founder of the coin sold all these freaking coins, Doge, Billy Marcus. He bought a Honda Civic for like 20 grand. And then it did a 4,000x from this point. Look at this. Where's your TA, bro? There's no technical analysis that said this was going to happen. It was literally just a matter of belief. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean buy anything with this chart. I'm just telling you, if you have some sort of information asymmetry, you have to use it to your advantage, which means, how do you use it to your advantage? Well, does it mean go all in? No. It just means like, if you see your story confirming more, perhaps you want to add it to your position size. Maybe you want to allocate more capital exposure to it. Maybe instead of like cheating on a 2x, you say, oh, I'm going to leave this for like 6 months. Now, of course, it's hard. No one knows the answer. But as long as you're opening your mind to something that's big, because it's all about those home runs, man. Friends, like, look, I know, I get it. Logically, it sounds nice to live in a world where everybody just gets to take their 20% return per day and then they all retire. It doesn't happen like that. It all comes down to those like 1 or 2 home run hits. That's what it all comes down to. By the way, we're not trading as well. It's the same thing, In trading, you'll have people they'll have like an outlier month. They'll have like an outlier day. Every like 3 months, which is about 90 or 100 trading days, they'll have like an outlier 1 or 2 days. And then that like boosts their account up. They'll like step function their account up and they use their boosted money to now trade with bigger size. So maybe someone had like, let's say someone had a $20,000 account. Maybe they have like this, nice streak day out of this 3-month period, and now their account's like 40K. So what they'll do is they'll start bumping up their risk more, and they'll just gamble with those excess profits, you see. But you have to be trading every day to learn that. With markets, okay, if you can find a thesis and you can hold longer, you get to participate on this upside. All right? I mean, just think about this, man. Dogecoin did a 4,000x after that moment. I mean, it's literally made history. And usually when we talk about this stuff, friends, I think it's just important to remember how hard it is in what they call the trenches. Because when you're looking for informational edge, it's not about, how cute a logo is or whatever. A lot of the informational edge is there's like a cabal of people who know they're going to go shill something out there and they're all in and they know how much time and attention they're going to give. I mean, remember how tough these pump fund stats are, right? Like only 2 coins made it above $1 billion. 43,000 graduating tokens, 81% never make it above 500K market cap. It's literally a 0.1% win rate. People did make good livings off it. They did. But when we talk about people, okay, there's 150,000 daily users. Okay, how much people did well? Less than 1%. It's more like 0.1%. Most people get wrecked because, they're buying the sub $1 million anything to try hope that it goes to 200 million, to try and make 100 to 200x. And most of them never go anywhere. Okay, so it's very, very important that you think about that long-term mindset thinking, but like think about who you're buying and holding with. If you're holding alongside a bunch of cheat non-believer scum who skip leg day, pencil neck noodle arms, stand for nothing, believe in nothing, and suck the toes of LA vape cabalas, if you're standing next to them, well, you're a cuck just like them. You're the average of the 5 cucks around you. Remember that. The average of the 5 people around you, friends. If you're just hanging around trash, you're going to get trash results. You know this by now. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything else is smooth sailing, but You got to think about who you're playing against there, okay? When no one in a field of trash sewer stuff has a long-term mindset thinking, that means it's all mercenary PvP, which means you're basically forced to be like that. So you better be faster than everybody else. You better have informational edge. And remember what we're all building towards, friends. Crypto to 10 trillion.
Sami, come on. The bull run is here. You're going to miss out.
Magical. Magical. Whee! Wow, that was just beautiful. Beautiful. I love watching that, friends. So as you get to see, I'm playing for crypto to 10 trillion. Hopefully, our dreams are all met. I mean by hopefully, like, we don't really know. We're hopefully, we're going to stay excited. Please keep pumping. Please. But, like, you know, man, the industry's worth a lot. Like, look how much stocks are worth, you know? Friends, we're the future. We know everyone's going digital. Like, what do you really do with your stock anyway? You just trade it and speculate on shit anyway. You don't go buy McDonald's share. You can't change the menu. You can't change the menu. You literally can't do anything in most of these shares. You can't change, the Microsoft Windows logo. Maybe you just want to change it to a banana. You can't do that. You can't do anything. Tesla. Okay, you can't go DM Elon Musk. Okay? You got to be a girl willing to have his 15th baby. You see? So we know people think like that. They're like, oh, they're all just tickers and logos to me. You know? Yeah, because you don't get their actual cash flow. It's just you own a piece of paper which theoretically says in the event of freaking a shakeup, you might be entitled to some of their cash flow, maybe. That's what stocks are. And like we're the new kids on the block. We understand that, man. So, you know, it makes sense to us. But for the rest of the world, they're catching on, and hopefully they get to buy our bags $10 trillion higher. Like, subscribe, belly button, and all. Catch you in the next one.